Hey there, it is Darby, and this is the January 2023 monthly check-in. So I kind of stopped the weekly check-ins when I went on my retreat in December, and as an update, I think I'm going to sunset them for a while, just because it was taking up a lot of time and energy on my Sunday nights and Monday days to do content like every week like that. It's much easier to batch it and like schedule it out in advance. So I will be continue to do the monthly and seasonal and yearly check-ins. I might do a yearly planning video. I'm like thinking and processing and trying to talk at the same time, and it doesn't work very well. But I'm not done with my yearly planning yet, so that's why I haven't finished it. Yeah, it's okay. February is the new January. I'll probably say that every month until it's January again. Anyways, I am relaunching a community that's private. It's off regular social, and it's called Calm Community. And I will be doing weekly goals and intentions on there. If you are one of my coaching clients, or if you're in one of my programs, or if you're interested in joining, I'll put the link to the website down below if you want to check it out. So here we go for the monthly check-in. So thinking back on December, what or who are you most grateful for this past month? So I feel like December was a big turning point for me, and part of that was going on a retreat. And I've decided that, like, obviously I need to be in nature more. It's really important to my nervous system and my mental health, and even my overall wellness and productivity. So I hadn't been on a retreat. 2022, I went on a retreat in March, and then I didn't go on one over the summer because I was like, oh, I'll just work. And then in the fall, I was like, I'll just work. And it was a failed experiment. Did not work well. So my December retreat was a week in the peninsula of Florida, and I visited a lot of state parks, and hiked and rode my bike, and it was the reset. Like, that's my word for this retreat, was reset. It was the reset that I needed. Like, I know that I need a certain level of activity and a certain amount of time outdoors in order to be functional. So that was really good for me. Also having, like a few weeks of solitude was really nice. I am like the introvert of introverts. I'm an INTP. So I know, and being outside really gives me the downtime to process and like decompress. That's what I was trying to say. Decompress my brain. So that it has time to like file away and sort all of the things I'm thinking all the time. Because that's how my brain operates, is like all the thoughts all the time. What goals or projects did you make progress on in December, even if it was like small progress? So when I got back from my retreat, I did some house projects. Sorry. And like making sure there's no small animal creeping around behind me. And that felt good. I live in an efficiency, like a really tiny space. It's 2 rooms, but both rooms are like 7 by 10. So keeping on top of stuff is is hard in such a small space. And I've gotten to the point where I feel like I've decluttered most of what I can declutter, and now it's down to like old art supplies and random cables, which I can't really donate. So that's always a work in progress. I also have been digging ginger out of my little garden area, which has been like intertwined with all of the other roots. So it's not easy like just pulling it out of the ground. Like it's like going under and over and under other plant roots, and it's just taking me a really long time to get it all out. Once that's done, I get to plant my native wildflower seeds. I got a bike rack for my vehicle, so I have been riding my bike a lot, and that's been really exciting. And I've been making content. I started making content on my retreat. If you go to darbycalm.com/retreats, you can see they're all work in progress. Like they're not all done yet, but I am getting there. What do you want to let go of or leave behind from the last month? So I would definitely say, and this is like what it always is like not getting all of the things done. In my mind, I think I can get a lot more done than I actually can. This month I'm like time tracking. I have a better system for time tracking, so that'll be easier for me to see like what is actually doable. But I have my like list, and if I want to go back and visit some of those things that I didn't get done in December, then I can do that. What memories do you want to remember from last month? So exploring, definitely on my retreat, and going to a bunch of new state parks for me. There's a few books I want to share that I read. I'm on Goodreads at Darby Calm if you want to connect with me there. I really like fiction books on like mystery, thriller, suspense. And then a whole bunch of other books on like conflict and trauma and stress and stuff. So The Good Sister by Sally Hepworth, I gave 5 stars, which my rating system means I could relate to it in some way. It was like deeply impactful for me. And this particular book, I gave it 5 stars because there was like a really neurotypical character, and in most novels they portray women as whiny or superficial, or like they're characters I don't relate with a lot. But this book, the character was kind of, you know, like analytical, and I could relate to that. And there was a lot of gaslighting in it, so that's something I've experienced a lot of. Don't ever let other people dictate who you are or define you. The Marsh Queen by Virginia Hartman, I gave it 4 stars. I would probably read it again. I do recommend it. It was a lot like Where the Crawdads Sing, and the setting of it, but this particular marsh was, well, the fictional town was somewhere between Tallahassee and the coast, so I'm guessing like the St. Mark's, Apalachicola area. And I really just enjoyed how descriptive the scenery was. And the main character drew birds for a living for the Smithsonian. And that's like one of my favorite areas in Florida to explore. So that's why I gave it 4 stars. Okay, Lucinda Berry, I really enjoy her work. Appetite for Innocence, I gave it 4 stars. I would recommend it and read it again. This particular book had like, I mean, she writes about really dark, horrific, traumatic topics. So keep that in mind. But this book was about girls who were kidnapped and mistreated is like a very light way to say it, but you know, not bad stuff was done to them. But there was one, the first girl that was kidnapped, kind of trauma bonded with the kidnapper, and then she might have aided with the future situations or not. So it's a good book to read to kind of like get in the mind of like, oh, is she really a part of it, or is she a victim? Or it leaves you questioning. But it's important to read, I think, books like this, because when victims of child abuse or domestic violence are in situations where their captor grooms them, they may think they're special and helpful, but they're really just being used as a tool. Okay, and then the last book, also by Lucinda Berry, is called The Best of Friends. I also recommend this one. It was teenage boys. There was a shooting. And the question I wrote down for this book is, do we ever really know our kids? There's a ladybug crawling on the camera, which is pretty cool. You can't see it, but I can. What lessons do you want to learn from December? More movement, always, which I feel like my retreat really kickstarted, so that's good. Work with my natural energy cycles and not against them. A book I have not read, but a website that sells the book, The Sleep Doctor, does sleep chronotypes, and I am definitely a night owl or a wolf according to the chronotype system. So I know I'm at my peak like between 8 and 10 at night, so that's when I like to get my best work done. And really reduce like overall expectations and workloads, because well, I'm nowhere near burnout like I was this time last year, but I do feel like moving forward I want to have sustainable work for what I'm creating for myself. Planning for January. What are you saying yes to this month? What are you saying no to this month? Yes to the systems I've been setting up for myself, like the time tracking and like the workload I'm setting out to achieve. Taking action instead of waiting on others, and often this looks like, am I gonna meet up with a friend or my son to go for a hike or skate or something, and then I don't end up going. Or waiting on my dissertation committee to email me back. So instead, I'm just going to be like, okay, well, what can I take action on? And just get up and go and do it. I'm going to say no to the things that don't get me closer to my goals. So if I put a filter on, will this help me launch my program? Will this help me get my dissertation research done? Will this help regulate my nervous system? Those are kind of like my filters for should I do this thing or not? What are you excited about or hopeful for in the month of January? So getting all the ginger out of my garden and putting in, planting the wildflower seeds, exploring more, and learning, creating, and sharing. And also I'm going to be starting seasonal self-care experiments. So this season is on mindfulness. I will put that out there soon. If you want to follow along and join me on it, that would be awesome. And what might cause stress this month? Not getting it all done. But I think like managing expectations, like it's okay if I don't. It's also good to set limits, saying this is like the bare minimum I want to get done, and if I could like do a lot, then this would be how much I want to get done. So that's always a good way to frame it too. So what is on your to-do list for this month? Mine is really long. But to give you like a general idea of what I'm working on, continuing my lit review, getting my community up and running, Calm Community. Website work, newsletters, working on an appendix for my dissertation. I'm still gathering up resources for that. Continuing to coach and be coached and recruit new clients. So if you're looking to be coached, I am doing Pay What You Can until I get my ACC credential for ICF, and the link will be down below. Self-care, productivity, getting things done, conflict, less stress. Wanting to make stuff trauma informed. And what else do I have to work on this month? Yeah, I think that's it. Oh, and I'm reading. I set a goal for myself to read 200 books this year. I think I've read 8 or 9 so far, and it's like the 9th of January, so that's like a book a day. So I hope this monthly check-in finds you well, and definitely reach out to me. Check out the links below. There's ways to contact me through my website. If you're interested in joining Calm Community or being coached, or you want to get on the wait list for Calm Conflict, which will launch in May, that would be awesome. All right, take care.